Hello, everybody. I am your host, Mitchell Lane. This is a podcast show for the average Joe, the Wrestling Diaries. What do people wrestle with in everyday life? And today's going to be kind of a weird, crazier episode because it's the first time that I've had like a group of people on. It's an actual band, Kamikaze Zombie. And the lead singer, lead vocalist, Clint Spain, was actually a guest. He was like one of the very first guests. I think it was like episode 4 or 5 or something like that. And he wanted to come on and bring the whole band on, talk about their music and the tour they're going to go on and moving and all kinds of stuff. We'll find out what the band and each individual person wrestles with. Check us out on YouTube, like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more content we release once a week. Check us out on our audio streams, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Tell your grandma all about us. Everything. Spread the love. What do people deal with in life? And in this case, we have a band, ladies and gentlemen. And this is Clint and Steve and I forget your name. I'm sorry, Sarah. Trevor. I'm so sorry about that. I'm terrible with names, terrible with that stuff. So, Clint, we'll let you kick it off, man.
All right.
You wanted to bring the band on. Why did you want to bring the band on the Wrestling Diaries?
A couple of reasons. I get tired of doing interviews all by myself.
Okay.
And I wanted these guys to get a little taste of, being out in forefront, be the, face of the band with me instead of just me by myself. Okay. And we have a lot of stuff, cooking in the background that we want to let people know about so they don't know that we're just, sitting around, just thumbing, banging, waiting on, this whole COVID thing to be over with.
Sure.
And, we try to stay busy as we can. And we have been. We have a lot of stuff in the works, and they come out this summer.
Cool. All right. I'm going to ask you a question, Trevor. You were telling me this before we started the show, but like, how did you come into this band? Like, how did you come across like getting in this band and meeting these guys and stuff like that? Because I know that Clint and Steve have known each other for many years. So
I guess me and Steve played in a band for 2 months.
Yeah.
Called Firewater Revival, and then I left that and stopped playing music for like a year. And I guess it was last summer they messaged me, asked me did I want to play drums on a cover album.
because you're a drummer.
Yeah, yeah. So,
cool.
And that was that.
What that band that you were in prior? What kind of band was it?
Like a southern metal, southern rock kind of band.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like sludgy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Cool. How long have y'all all been like a cohesive unit now? The three of you. Anybody can answer this question.
Going on about almost a year.
Yeah, almost a year.
Yeah.
I think a little over a year.
So what is, how did the band start? Like, you obviously started out the band and then...
I started, and then very shortly after, I don't really count the band as actually starting until me and Steve got together.
Okay.
Before that, it was just a hang around session. And then when Steve and I started pushing the band real hard, we started in 2014, but I don't think we really started making waves until at the end of 2015, early 2016. Okay. And he and I just been plugging away, and we've had a revolving door of members. It's no secret, but we've had Trevor, and he just gels in a way that no one else has gelled with us, and it just feels right. So yeah.
Sweet. Steve, what do you do in the band?
I play guitar.
You play guitar? How long have you been playing guitar, dude?
I think 20 years, 21 years maybe.
Holy.
It's been a minute.
What made you want to pick up the axe, man, and start shredding?
Picking up chicks.
For real?
Yeah.
That's legit.
I was like, I was in high school, and I was like, I want to pick up chicks, man. And so I started playing guitar, and pretty much sucked until I started playing in a band me and Clint had called Throne of Blood back in 2005. Mm-hmm. That was when I started taking it serious, and I guess now is the result of me playing for as long as I have been.
So I got to ask, and I know a lot of people are wondering, did it work? Did you pick up chicks?
Hell no, man.
No? What?
Sleeping after bed most nights.
Oh, man. So what kind of music did you... I'll stick on you for just a sec. This is going to be kind of odd because I have so many people to navigate through, so we'll do whatever, man. It doesn't matter. How did you get into music and wanting to play guitar besides the concept of picking up chicks? Like, what music did you grow up listening to?
Just everything. My mom listened to a bunch of stuff. It was, she listened to Sabbath and stuff. I ain't going to sit here and lie to you. I didn't really get into that kind of stuff much when I was younger. It was just random stuff. I mean, I never really had like oh yeah, I really love this. You know what I mean? It was never I don't know. I never really had to go to anything. And then one day, man, I found out that like one of my uncles had played, and then I started noticing that like half my family played, and I was like, holy shit, I didn't even know this.
Yeah.
And I mean, my great grandparents played at Christmas, and I never even remembered it. You know, and then I was like, hell yeah, man, I want to play. I want to play. I can do this. And I taught myself. I mean, I didn't just like out of thin air, you know, come up with stuff, but got videos and magazines and stuff, and started learning how to play. And you know, that's once I started learning, I was like, yeah, I like this. This is. I mean, it made me feel like one day I'm going to show these, you know, I'm going to show these people what kind of dude I am.
Yeah. It's funny, like, you started out doing it because you wanted to impress people and get chicks and all that stuff. So it's kind of like an artificial means to start something. What I found that's interesting about that is a lot of people that end up going into that, they end up getting out of it. Because they realize, like, oh, I just did this for this result, and either I got the result or I didn't get the result, and now I'm done with it. Like, it's whatever. But, like, you stuck with it and then even fell in love with it and just kept doing it and, got better. And, like, you played in all these bands.
It started being a lot more awesome as time went on. I mean, when I first started, it sucked. I mean, I was sitting there playing by myself in a damn bedroom, or every now and then at a party, get a little, you know, face and have chicks look at you there and be like, okay, I'm about to score tonight. It's game over. And it was game over.
What was one of the first songs you learned to play, man?
Shit. I don't know. I'm sure it was a Nirvana song, because back then it was, I mean, that's all I had was an acoustic, and I really liked Nirvana, so that's all I ever really focused on.
That was my first song to learn was Come As You Are. That up on the top.
Oh, yeah.
Neck. I mean, it's pretty simple, you know. So it's pretty cool. What about you, Trevor? Like, how did you get into music and drumming and all that other stuff? Where does that stem from, dude?
Like, what made me want to play music to start with was the opening for Pete and Pete, because they had a band, like, in the front yard, and I remember thinking, yeah. And I remember, like, just thinking, like, that's so cool. But I took piano lessons when I was, like, 6 or 7.
Oh, wow.
And did that for a second. And then took some guitar lessons and learned the Dragon Ball Z theme, and then quit, because that's all that I really wanted to do was play that.
Yeah.
And then I played saxophone in beginner band, and then bass drum in marching band.
You got out of nerd school.
Yeah. Marching band nerd. And then I really wanted to play guitar, but like everybody else did, and they was like, well, you play drums in band anyway, so just play drums, and went from there. And the first song that I learned was Crazy Train.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
There's a lot of similarities between Crazy Train and One by Metallica.
Yeah.
Except it's played, you know, differently, different scale, I guess. Whatever.
That's good.
Yeah, dude, you're so musically diverse. You remind me of my friend Terrence, who he literally can play anything: piano, bass, drums, guitar, and he also is. Have y'all heard of the term synesthesia, where you kind of like because he was explaining this to me, and I had another musician on here. It was like the concept of where you play music, whatever you hear, it's like in the form of like some kind of shape or aura or color. So you play all the riffs that are purple, right? Or you hit all the drum licks that are like red or this shape.
Yeah,
and like, I feel like, do you think you have that? Is that the way you look at music when you play it? Or
like with guitar, like I see like a fretboard in my mind, and that's what like I just like
a pseudo.
Yeah. And I just pick like one note and find it, and then just go from there.
And are you one of those people that play completely by earshot? Like you hear it and you're like, oh, that's, and then you just start.
Most of the time now, if I'm trying to learn like a tech death song, I'll look at the tabs and use them. Death? Like super technical death metal.
Okay. And like what would a band be like if people are wondering about
Necrophagus, I mean, I guess technically Monstrosity is a technical death metal band. Okay. Then I'm brain farting here.
Gross. Smells like brain shit.
Oh man, I smell your IQ. What the dude?
Gross, man.
But yeah, there's a ton of them. If you type tech death into YouTube, it'll pull up, golly, 10 million bands. But yeah, like I will use tabs as a reference point, but like tabs are never right, especially like when you try to learn tapping leads and stuff. So you just kind of have to listen to it and do it.
That's cool, dude. You're like a musical Frankenstein. That's what I call my friend Terrence. That's what he is. The things that he can do musically, it's just beyond my grasp of like the musical arts. Like I don't understand it quite. I don't quite understand it.
It's literally like the only thing that makes sense to me. Like I can work on cars and stuff, but like, yeah, music just like super clicks.
Yeah.
I
don't know. Somebody told me once too, like they feel like their life goes so fast, and like doing music is a way, like it's slow.
Yeah,
kind of puts like this filter on them or something like that. Steve, I forgot to ask you, can you play it by earshot? Like you hear something?
I can now, but back when I started, it took a lot of time to be able to do it for me. It didn't just fall into my lap like
some people, right? Like some people naturally they pick it up. Like my friend Terrence is like that. He just picked it up and he was like, "Oh, this is what this would sound like." And do you think that everybody learning guitar initially when they start, like, can they get to that point? I guess maybe because they're playing it so much and all this, like,
you definitely can. It's possible. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody that ends up playing for a long time is already that way. But it's not something that like I said, it's not something that came easy to me. It took me a long time. I had to suffer through the crappy tabs and playing wrong in front of people and be like, dude, that sucks. You ain't doing that right. I mean, I had to do that a lot before I finally was like, man, I'm just going to try to listen to this and figure it out. And then a bunch of bands that I liked were like, or guitarists I like. John Petrucci has a DVD, and I think at some point he says something about following tabs. Mm-hmm. And it's not, I mean, they're never 100%, you know what I mean? And I'm weird about learning other people's stuff too. I want it to be as close as it can be. I don't want it to be, like my idea of what it should sound like. I want it to be what it does sound like. And
precisely.
Yeah. And if I mess up and somebody tells me I messed up, I'm like, oh God, what did I do wrong?
Kind of like a perfectionist mentality about when you're playing. Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. Do you deviate off of any other instrument besides guitar? You play bass or drums?
I've played bass before in a couple of bands, but I mainly just stick to guitar.
Guitars, you may do. Well, something, man, it's like we were talking about some people can just pick it up. They have a natural knack, like Trevor here and my friend Terrence and other people. But the fact that you had to struggle in the beginning of it and learn it, and now you're at this pinnacle to where you feel more confident playing guitar. I'm sure you critique yourself and all that. Oh, you're a true artist. But, like, I feel like you have more appreciation than a lot of other people that did just pick it up. And I know this, like, from talking to you and my friend Terrence, it just comes natural to him. So you didn't have to struggle as hard to learn how to play. But because you did, like, I don't know, I feel like that's, I don't know. I mean, elaborate on that.
I mean, it's, as far as struggling, I mean, like I said, it took me a long time, people telling me I suck. And I was like, man, I don't like being told I suck. Nobody likes being told, oh, yeah, boy, you kicked ass today sucking on that guitar. But nobody likes that at all.
Hey, man, you suck, you piece of shit. I'm going to major hard on right now, bro.
No, I mean, it's made it to where now that I don't get as, I don't really care too much about what people think about how I play now. You know what I mean? Because I do what I do and how I do it.
Yeah, and you've done it for so long now. It's just natural.
I don't like, I definitely don't like getting live and sucking and messing something up live.
Yeah.
But, it's, I don't know how I've done it, but I mean, over the years, I've been able to keep it together live. And I have not drank at all this year. So this is a first for me to like start playing shows without drinking. I played our first show at Black Market, and I was sober, and it was I thought it would be harder.
Birmingham, right?
Black Market Bar. Mm-hmm. I thought it would be a little harder than it was, but I also thought it would be. I thought I would feel, hell yeah, you did it, boy. But I was like, man, you did the same you do every time.
Right.
But I used to get hammered and then get up there and play that like it wasn't nothing. And then when I'm not drunk, I'm like, oh, am I even playing this right? My hands just start going in the right places. Like, oh, okay.
What's happening right now?
I mean, I'm telling you, dude, sometimes I get up there, I'll be looking at something in the crowd and it's like, oh, shit. The hand's just doing its own thing, you know what I mean?
It's like Marty McFly in Back to the Future, where he's starting to fade out, but then his dad kisses his mom, and he gets back up, and he's just like, and he's like looking, and he's like, what's happening here? I'm playing it. It's automatic now. Hell yeah, dude. Well, that's awesome, man. Congratulations also on your sobriety, whatever you choose to do with that, whether you don't drink, or you drink a little, or you don't drink at all.
I can't, man. A little bit's too much for me. The demon gets set loose at that point.
Yeah, there's a Demon in the Bottle. That's a novel in Iron Man comic books where he's like, they actually touch base on it in the second Iron Man movie where he's drinking and anyway, it's comic book nerd stuff. Clint, so you don't just do vocals, right? I don't remember from the last time what you were telling me. You do vocals and play guitar as well, or?
I used to. I don't anymore.
Right, you just transitioned to just vocals.
Just vocals.
Okay.
And
so y'all just have one guitarist.
Yeah, just Steve.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all. And that's really all we need. Like when we write, like I'll get together and maybe write some riffs and stuff, but mostly it's just Steve.
Sure.
On guitar.
When you guys, this is a question I guess for everybody. When you're coming up with a song or something, like how does the working mechanics of that work out? Usually, does it start with you? You just have your guitar and you wrote down some words or something, or he does, or you're all together like at the studio or something?
It's a mixed bag. Like either Steve will write a whole song and be like, "Hey man, you call me up. Hey dude, I got this whole song written. This, I'll go check it out." And Trevor come throw drums on it. And I'll just straight up write lyrics that day,
and then throw some vocals on it.
Or I may have a riff and I give it to Steve and he does his magic with it. Okay. It's just or whatever. It's just. We just kind of collaborate together as one big mixed bag.
Is there ever a point where you guys are just like, you just play around, practicing and goofing off, and then you literally just wrote a song just kind of just goofing off?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like he's playing something, he's drumming, and then you're just kind of laying some random vocals down, and then it's like, you know what? Let's stop. Let me write this down. Let's put this together.
The song Prometheus, Steve wrote that just goofing off. During the middle of like taking a break on band practice, he was just like, playing around, we were just taking a break, and he just started busting out this riff, and I was like, dude, that's badass. And we just waited around for it. Then the next couple of days, he messed around with it. Next thing you know, he wrote the whole song, and it's our top song. Like everyone, like all of our platforms, that's the number one song that gets played is Prometheus.
Prometheus, yeah. Is that the one that you said has like 90,000 hits or something like that?
No, that's actually our video for the story of Jane Doe. But Prometheus is our number one hit on Spotify and all that stuff as far as listening.
Can we play that right now and listen to it, Matt?
Can
you pull it up?
And People Love It Live is always one of our best songs live, too.
Can you pull up the Prometheus?
Hey, I'll swallow your soul. I'll swallow your soul. I'll swallow your soul.
Swallow this.
Praise hail, praise Dale.
Hell running every now and then.
That's awesome, dude. That's such a cool. Like, I love it's thrashy and like it is kind of old school and stuff like that. It's really crazy to me that you were doing these vocals, bro. Like, because you're real soft spoken. Like you're like when I talk to you, you just have a very like cool voice, and then you're just like, what is this? Because I know anybody watching this doesn't understand like vocals like this and doesn't really understand this music or like it or whatever. Explain to somebody new to this, like how vocals like that work out exactly. Like what do you
It's really the same as doing any other kind of like clean singing. You know, it's just because I try to sing on key. You know,
Sure.
my voice is in the key of C, so we play C sharp.
Okay.
You know, because it matches my voice.
Sure.
And before shows, I always do warm ups the same as any other professional singer would do.
The do re mi.
I do all that stuff, and I do the E's and over the pencil techniques and stuff. And
have you been classically trained in vocals?
no, I didn't know any of that stuff honestly until Melissa Cross came out in 2005.
Okay.
Randy Bly from Lamb of God was really pushing her really hard, and I was a big fan of him. I still am. I think of vocals, like he's one of the best vocalists ever.
Okay.
And so I was like, well, if he does it, then obviously we should check it out. And then all these like hardcore bands I'm into, like Madball and all these dudes are also checking him out. And I was like, okay, so she's got street cred and Randy Bly. Let's go check this chick out. And I checked her out, and it was a game changer. I started looking at vocals a totally different way, and it's not just yelling and screaming. You know,
there's a lot of technique to it.
Yeah, and but it's also not. I use my whole voice when I do vocals. I don't do like these weird techniques that a lot of people like to try to do, where like if they didn't have a microphone, you barely hear them, you know. And when we do sound checks, the sound guys like, dude, you're loud as crap. Like, I don't need to. Can we turn you down?
The loudest crap I've ever.
And one of the best, I guess one of the best compliments I've had from a sound guy who works at Zydeco. So he's mic'd hundreds, thousands of people, professional people, and he said I was one of the loudest, powerful vocals that he's ever mic'd. So that was a pretty, I don't know, that was a nice compliment.
Nice
you know,
ego boost, right?
Yeah, you know. But I don't ever lose my voice after shows because I do it right. You know, I always make sure to warm up.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds very. I don't know if it's cliche to say this, like professional. Like, because like some people that do bands like this, I can tell they're just like screaming at the top of their lungs. There's not as much like structure to what's happening. But this sounds like really clean, if that even makes sense.
That's another thing I strive for. I don't know if I ever always meet it, you know, but I try to make it to where everyone can understand what the hell I'm saying.
Sure.
Because I notice the one thing that turns people off from metal, especially when the vocals get a little more heavy, is not understanding what they're saying. That's usually the number one complaint. I can't understand what he's saying.
Yeah, the classic. I don't know why y'all are listening to that music. It's a bunch of hollering and screaming, and you don't know what. It's not music. You're just screaming and hollering. You can't even know what they're saying. What are they saying? It sounds like a dog.
You know. So like, I try to model my vocals around like the vocalists that I look up to that can do that, like Phil Anselmo.
Okay.
Randy Bly, you know, both those guys, Ben Foggus from Soylent Green and Goat Whore, they all have that vocalist ability to be as heavy as any vocalist ever, but at the same time, you can understand what they're saying. Yeah. You know, Trevor from Black Dahlia Murder also does that. You know, he enunciates really well, and so I strive to do that.
Okay, well, I think you're doing a damn good job, bro. Like, from what I can tell. Prometheus. Why'd you name that song Prometheus? What's that song about? Is it about, you know the story of Prometheus?
Yes, yeah. So it's actually a combination of, okay, so our band has a macabre feel imagery-wise. Like, I usually name most of the lyrics off of, like, horror movies or comic books or Greek mythology or... Yeah. Something weird, you know. Most everything I write in lyrically is metaphors. Every now and again, I shoot straight from the hip, and you get what you get from the song. Sure. But most of the time, it's not always what it seems on the surface. But with this song particularly, I like the movie Prometheus, and on this album, we also have a song called Warning from Space. So I was kind of shooting a little bit for the Aliens trilogy kind of thing. But at the same time, at the time we wrote this song, I was just a very angry person at the Birmingham scene and at certain people. And so I get tired of seeing people not bitching about wanting to be somewhere they're not and not wanting to put the work in. and then riding other people's coattails and not really doing it themselves, because we bust our ass. We're the ones giving up like our families and money and sleeping in a van. And, I don't mind working with people. It's not like we're Metallica or anything, but at the same time, where we're at, we've earned it.
Yeah.
And so it just started pissing me off that these other bands, will like throw their nose in the air at us and act like we're just something, like we're rock stars. Well, we're not rock stars, we're just people who put in the work, and these people want to ride our coattails. So kind of wrote the song about that and about how Prometheus, put out the fire to, for a starving village or whatever. And it's kind of tongue in cheek and a little bit of a, you.
It almost kind of, like, obviously you guys are a metal band, but it almost seems very punk, very hardcore-esque, right? It's like middle finger to the establishment.
Yeah, we definitely, the band has a punk, hardcore, vibe to it. It's the meat and potatoes, because Steve and I, and Trevor, as much as we like metal bands, we also like hardcore and punk bands. Like one of our favorite bands is Hatebreed.
Nice.
Steve and I both love Pennywise to death. Like, we're just as much of a punk band as we are a metal band, and vice versa.
Yeah, you definitely can hear that in the music that you guys do. Something I wanted to ask, like, I don't know if it'd be squashing this, but like, what? So obviously you guys are very musically versatile. You're doing metal, but you're also big punk fans, hardcore fans. Why? I've always wondered this, and I never understood it. I grew up and going to shows and stuff as a hardcore kid, sort of. I still like metal and all that stuff, but like, I noticed this was never a thing for me or any of my friends because we're just music lovers. But like, what is the weird like rivalry or like butting of heads between like the punk like community and like the heavy metal people or the hardcore people like hating on each other, and like, what is that? Can anybody articulate this for me? Like, does anybody understand it?
Hell no.
I'm sure. Yeah, you maybe you do. You've been to a lot of the same shows I've been to. So like, why is that a thing? I don't get it.
It was a thing back in the 80s because it was like kind of like almost like a gang, and like music can be kind of personal, I think, and you kind of wear it as a badge, Yeah. But over the years, as people like, as crossover, which is I think what would be the best way to sum us up, we're a crossover band. Yeah. As crossover got bigger and more relevant, it kind of just made it where like, that whole thing was kind of silly, because you got bands like Anthrax with Scott Ian, was also in the Stormtroopers to Death, was a crossover band. And I mean, it started making it where it made no sense to be that way. But in the beginning, I guess, it was just kind of like a gang kind of mentality, a tribal mentality, like we're this, we're that. Once you put a label on anything, people are going to start, classifying, and then all of a sudden you segregate yourself, even if you unintentionally do so.
It's so weird that is a thing that happens, right? Because like I feel like it holds people back from experiencing more awesomeness in life, like more art. Like it's like if you're only just like eating cheeseburgers, they're awesome, but pizza's good too, everybody.
Right? Get out of here with that pizza bullshit.
Or hamburgers only over on this side.
So yeah, that's pretty crazy. I don't know why people can't just like, I don't know, like all forms of music. It's weird. And I don't know, is it like that with any other type of like genres of music? Because like hardcore music and heavy metal are so similar, and even with like punk rock, it's aggressive, it's fast, it's, I don't know, angsty. Yeah. Like
to me, and it kind of makes sense, because we're also all big hip hop fans.
Okay.
And the only other genre that's similar to that and it has the same work ethic is also punk and metal bands is hip hop, because they sell albums out of their car like we do. We hustle albums and stuff like that. We have the same work ethic, the same hustle. And with hip hop albums and stuff, you have that East Coast, West Coast mentality where punk rock, death metal, or whatever, it's kind of the same tribalism, same separation type stuff. But, that's the only one you don't have in country music.
Yeah, hell yeah, you do. Man, you ain't never gonna catch me no bike shouting show.
You might have it now, like the old school country guys, like the Hank Threes of the world, who like, they put the C in country and all that.
Dude, there's a Hank 4. Right?
Yeah,
like,
I've seen that.
What's up with that? Like,
just keep
it on the genealogy, man. It just keeps going, man. These rebels, these Southern rebels here. Something I would say about Steve. This is going to be really cheesy. I'm sure you've heard this before. This guy reminds me of Daryl Abbott from Fantastic.
First name that I said.
And I know you've got this a lot. That's what I'm saying this because I know it's obvious because like you got that deep kind of. You're not overly Southern, but a little Southern like cowboy to your voice. It's deep. Yeah, man. Like the first time I heard you, I was like, "Is that Daryl Abbott? He's reincarnated in this guy. This is where his spirit went."
Yeah, he gets it all the time, dude. And he plays the same bluesy solo that Dimebag does too when he shreds.
Is it safe to say that you're a big fan?
Yeah. I mean, it's when he got shot, dude. I was at work. I got a phone call from a buddy, and I was like, "Man, I hope wasn't dumb." Because the dude was like, "Man, one of you or some dude in the Pantera got shot." I was like, "Oh." I don't even remember what I was thinking, but I was like, "Man, I hope it ain't time." You know what I mean? And I got home, I was like, I told the dude at work that my dad died or some like that, and I was like, "I gotta go." Dad died.
Yeah.
Some okay. That job was a joke anyway.
I mean, based on the age range, I feel like he could have been. He's like old enough to be your dad, so he could have been your dad, definitely, and then it would make sense.
I'd like that. That's weak. That's somebody bad.
Like, I remember, Matt, do you remember when you came over to Thomas's house to tell us that Diamond got shot? I remember, like, me and my other friend Thomas, I know, you know.
Yeah.
We were just over at his house hanging out, and Matt came over. He was like, "Oh, man, I got some bad news. A good friend of ours died." And instantly, we were like, "What?" So we're thinking of our intermediate friends. And he was like, "Oh," he's like, Dimebag, he got shot and killed. And we're like, "What?" So we turned on the news, and, like, it was all over the news.
Yeah.
Like, what the F happened?
Yeah.
Dude, it was heartbreaking, man.
Dude, so hard. I didn't even believe it. I didn't want to believe it. Like, my sister called me and told me, and I was like, "That's not funny, dude. Don't call me with that bullshit." Up on her all mad and everything.
Oh, wow.
And then my buddy Damon called me, and I knew it was true then. I was like,
Yeah, it was painful. It was like losing a friend. It really was, right? Because I've something similar about this when Chris Cornell died. I literally cried. I cried about that. And I remember talking to my friend Ivy about it. I was like, it's so weird that like this meant so much to me. Like when Dimebag died, and then like Chris died, and like a couple other people. I felt that way when Scott Weiland died from STP, Stone Temple Pilots. And I was like, it's so weird. Like I'm hurt. Like I'm hurting. Like I cried when I found out about Chris Cornell dying. And I was like, but it's odd. Like the logical, like minded person that I am was like, this doesn't make any sense. You don't know Chris Cornell. You never touched his face. You never shook his hand. You never gave him a hug. You hadn't hung out with him. You didn't have a beer with him. You haven't talked about life and love and whatever with this guy. You don't know him. And I was talking to my friend Ivy about that. I was like, it's kind of odd, right? Like to get upset about somebody you've never even met. He was like, well, I get that. He's like, but also like we grew up on his music, right?
Yeah,
and so like you listen to those lyrics, that music touches you, it gets you through hard times, gets you through good times.
Yeah.
And like you the feelings you get is the same feelings that you get from just like your friends. And so that's why it like he was our friend. Yeah. And I was like, damn, I never really, that's a good point.
it becomes like music is like can replace family members. It can replace it can fill voids of holes in your life, you know?
Yeah.
So it becomes very personal to a lot of people. And I think with the metal punk scene, it's definitely that way. That's why people take it so personal and so closely, and like people get like, gatekeepers and all this stuff, because it's just these people who just took personal.
Yeah, it's a crazy business. It really is. One thing to brag on you, man. Like since you were on that first episode that we had, like way back when, I'll still like if I'm talking to people and we're talking about like our dreams or what you want to pursue in life, what you want to do, how you want to be happy, and I just don't know if I can do this. Like it's so much work and all that. Plus like my dad or my brother, my friend, my girlfriend, my husband, my blah 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 blah. And they go down this list, and I was like, I had this guy on. He's an old friend who he made a decision like a long time ago that music is like his love, is one of his lovers, right? He's romantic with the concept of that. And you're like off to music. Yeah. You might be. You might be. Yeah. But
the man keeps it rocking.
But like I'll tell people this. I'll brag on like what you said. You were like, you met your wife, Ashley, right?
Alicia.
I'm so sorry. Alicia. And you told her like early on, like you left that disclaimer out there. You're like, yeah, I love you, so much more than anybody. That's why I'm like wanting to marry you and all this stuff. But like, I love music and this is what I want to do with my life. And like, I need you to respect this. Like, don't make me have to choose between you and like another love of mine. because like you won't like the answer and stuff like that. And it wasn't because like you're not a good guy or a good husband or whatever. It's just because like it would be like someone like you have a great relationship with your mom, and then like you have a girl come along, and then she's like, "Oh, you got to choose me or your mom."
Right.
Like, first of all, if she really loved you, why would she ask you to choose?
That's
like
the point.
that's terrible.
That's the point right there.
And so like I'll tell people about that. And people are like, "Oh yeah. I mean, well," I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "So you know, you got to do what you got to do." And like if people really care about you and stick by, then they understand how you are. Like you want to have this relationship with.
Because
so powerful.
Yeah,
about that, dude.
life is short, man. And if you don't, if they're not with you, they're against you. So I always just say, deuces, kick rocks.
Yeah. I say this to some people. They get upset at me because they think like I'm talking like I'm a big shot or like whatever. I don't subscribe to any of that. But like I'm just like, look, I run my life at a certain speed.
Yep.
And if you want to be part of this, great. But please keep up, because if you don't, then you're going to get left behind. And it's not personal.
Yeah.
It's just, this is where I'm going.
Right.
And too many people just let themselves get dragged down by bullshit. And like, I mean, do you guys feel that way?
Yeah. That's been a lot of our issues with the revolving members. You know, it's like, Steve, it seems like as soon as we get a new member in, you know, like until we bump up at a level and it gets a little bit too much for him. When reality starts kicking him in the teeth, because we'll tell everyone at the beginning, "Hey man, we're going to tour a lot. Hey man, we're going to do this a lot. Hey man, we're going to do that a lot." And it's not until we start doing that stuff and we're sleeping in a van in Utah, freezing our balls off in the parking lot of a gas station until they hit, "Oh, they wasn't playing."
Yeah.
You know, they were serious.
Which is so weird to me, right? Like those people, and not like trying to on them necessarily, but like those are the people that are in love with like the end result to something, right?
Yep.
Like they want the chocolate cake, but they don't want to bake it.
Yeah.
Like they want that delicious devil's food cake, but they don't want to like get the pots and pans out and break the eggs and do all that. They don't.
Yeah.
And if you're not in love with the process, if you're like a cook who's like, "Oh, I love this. Yeah, get my hands dirty. There's food everywhere." If you're not in love with the process, then like it's at the end of the day, like the end result's not going to be anything to you. It's like if you're climbing that mountain, you got to be just as much in love with the climb and the, like dealing with that than you are with getting to the summit. I'm always telling people that.
Yeah, it is. It's true, man. Like, and me and this dude, we've milked our own cows and, you know, break our own eggs, you know, making our sandwiches.
This is still a metaphor, right?
Yeah. You know?
Cows and shit.
But no, man, I know a lot of you guys are pro wrestling fans, and I love pro wrestling. And Triple H, I was watching the Triple H biography. I bought the 3-disc or whatever.
Okay.
And right when they broke kayfabe, Vince McMahon was like, had to punish someone, and he wasn't going to punish Shawn Michaels, so he just got the belt, right?
Right.
So he kicked Triple H down a whole lot, and said, "You're going to start from the bottom and work your way back up to the top." He said, "You're going to eat plates and love it." And when he said that, I was like,
"You're gonna eat plates."
He's like, he said, if you want to be in this business, you're gonna eat plates and love it. And I was like, that's what you gotta do. And that was been the motto in the back of my mind ever since then. With this band, we just say yes to everything. Like Henry Rollins, we show up early. It's not like we're special. It's just we just show up early and stay late, and we put in the time and we break the eggs.
You got a strong like work ethic about it. You take seriously like what you do. It's like if somebody has a child, right? Like you got to protect the child, you got to feed the child, and that's a serious thing. And you just do it without thinking about it. It's like that serious. You making that concept of or that statement about Vince McMahon saying you got to eat plates, love it, reminds me of the John Mayer. I don't know if y'all like him or not. I like him. I think he's a fantastic blues guitarist and stuff.
He is.
But he was in an interview once. I don't know, it was like Rolling Stone or something. They were asking him, "Hey, when you're listening to a record and like or a compilation of music, like what do you listen to all of it, even the music you don't like that kind of sounds like and you skip over it and go to the ones you like, or do you listen to all of it? Like how do you navigate through that?" He's like, "Because I personally I only like to listen to stuff that really touches me, and the stuff that don't I skip over." And then John Mayer, he's like, "Well, I listen to all of it." And they're like, "Well, why do you do that?" And he said, he's like, "Because even if I don't like it," and I was like, "I don't like the way this sounds. This isn't touching me. I don't like the way this guy's playing the guitar. I don't like his vocals, blah, blah, blah." He's like, it makes the songs that I do like that end up coming up later so much more sweeter. He's like, I look at it like this way. He's like, sometimes you got to eat a little bit to get dessert, eat dessert. Yeah. And I was like, that's hilarious coming from this guy.
That's it.
Eat a little to get some dessert. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Because like if I just skip over the songs I want to listen to, and it's great and it's cool, but the times that I've had to sit there and listen to songs I don't like. Then when the songs that I do like come on, I appreciate the ones I like so much more, you know? And then I even end up appreciating the songs I didn't like for what they're worth, you know? And so, how do you guys feel about that? What's your opinion on that, Trevor?
I'm pretty much the same way. And I mean, like, if it made it to an album, there's at least one part on it that has, like, some kind of extreme.
Yeah. There's a reason why it's there.
Yeah. That's. But I grew up with a lot of track skippers, and I've just never really been that way neither, you know, because if I paid for it, I'm going to listen to the whole thing. That's like, getting food and not eating all of it.
Yeah, I was just about to say, that's a perfect one. How about you, Steve?
I'm the same way. I mean, I used to be just straight hits. Whatever was on the radio was the only I was listening to on the albums, and then I got a little bit older and just started appreciating music, I guess, a little bit more. And it does. I mean, there are some songs on albums. Even the baddest bands in the world's got some dog.
Absolutely.
But I mean, like you said though, once you get, whenever those songs that do hit hard as hell, when those come up, it's like, holy man, this motherfucker's badass. They was on that last song, but they went badass on this one.
Plus, like, I feel like you, in appreciating the songs you don't like, you also got to remember, like, even if you don't like the way the song, these guys, whoever it was, spent time, like, writing this music out and practicing it. And even if it's a song, maybe it took them a week to do the song.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work that went into it.
Yeah.
You guys as a band, I'm sure, understand that as well.
Yeah.
You do a track that you don't like as much, but you still spent all this work on it.
Yeah.
So either way, there's something there, you know.
And music is an acquired taste, and everyone's taste is different. So those crappy songs could be great songs to other people, you know.
Right.
And it's like,
You're the beholder.
yeah, you know, because like I'm a big B-side guy. A lot of times when it comes to like bands, especially earlier when I was getting into Black Flag and stuff, like I was like, okay, Rise Above is really cool, but have you heard Damage 2? That's a crazy song. Or Splatter Paint or Spray Paint the Walls. You know, those songs are, we have a song called Splatter Paint.
Yeah.
But, it's a grindcore song we did.
Nice.
And it's hilarious. But anyways, yeah, man, like, some of the unknown songs sometimes can be the better songs than the single to certain people.
Is my favorite.
Yeah.
For the record.
So I want to ask you guys. You guys are about to start a tour, stuff you were telling me about not too long ago, and then also, can we talk about you guys are moving? Can we delve into that? Like, let's go into that. What's up with that? The move.
The move. Well, the move is a little bit of both. It's a little bit of getting back to my roots with New Orleans. You know,
Okay.
My wife is getting ready to finish UAB, and then she's going to go to pharmacy school for like her doctorate. And we had to choose a pharmacy school, and it was between the school here in Birmingham that she's not really a big fan of, and or Auburn, and we didn't really live we didn't want to live in Auburn, and or we move really far away.
Right.
And I was like, well, if we're going to have to move out of state, then New Orleans is the place to go.
Yeah.
And it allows me as a band, for us as a band, it gives us an extra state to kind of have a at-home crowd kind of thing. Because, like, you know, and then for her, it gives her a better school. Nice. And it's only 4 hours away, so it's not really that big of a deal. I'll be up every weekend for band practice.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
you know?
4 hours is not.
Like we usually have band practice at 1. If I'm up, have my oatmeal out the door by 9. I'm at band practice at 1.
Shit in the van.
So what about you guys about moving? Like, how's that? What does that come up for you guys? How do you feel about it?
I think it's badass because, like he said,
Are y'all going to be living with Clint and his wife?
No. Like, on the one hand, I get to have a place to stay if I want to party in New Orleans, which is awesome. But like the foothold in that whole scene and all that stuff, like I think it will pay off in the long run.
Now, how do you feel about moving to New Orleans, man?
I think it's good for him. My ass is staying here.
Oh, you're staying? Okay.
Yeah, we're all staying. Clint's the only one going to be moving.
Yeah.
We're going to be we're still going to be holding Birmingham down, I guess, and he's going to start chopping away at the New Orleans scene.
Yeah. Okay. So
we dual state.
Okay, I see what you're saying. You're still going to be a band and doing that, but it's just like there's just going to be a commute.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay, I was unclear about that. Makes a lot of sense. But you guys got to be visiting Nolan a lot then, obviously. So you'll be down there having some crawdads, and listening to some sludge,
and going to the
sludge,
zoo.
listen to some crawdads.
They have a really awesome zoo, and I like it. I'm pretty partial to that zoo.
Yeah, the zoo is pretty great.
They have sun bears. That's awesome.
That's so cool, dude. That's well, congratulations, first of all, guys. I mean, I feel like you guys are hitting a new chapter, and it's a higher chapter. You're going, like, you're taking that next step, and you know,
feels like it. Feels like it's just climbing a little bit more, even with the COVID stuff. Because COVID, man, it really kicked, like it did every band. Like we're not like, you know, every band suffered from COVID, but you know, it really clipped us. I felt like we got karate kicked our legs straight out from under us. They straight like swept the leg, like game over.
Yeah,
but
well, it's a big testament though to how you bounce back from that, right?
Yeah. We just kept moving. You know, we didn't let it really falter us, which it could have easily done, and we didn't let it do that. In fact, we just became stronger as a band.
When are you guys going to get a bass player?
We have one we have someone we're trying out, but he's we're waiting to just test them on all levels before we officially announce the guy. We don't want to
got to jump through all the hoops first.
Yeah. It's an initiation process.
I can see it now, like it's picture in my head. The three of you guys are sitting in rows of chairs, and he's standing there, and you're like, do a little dance. Do a small, slow turn. No. Slower. That's it.
Get it together, bitch.
Do the
shove him down.
Yeah, he's got to jump to the hoops, man. We don't like announcing people off the cuff. You know, we want to
just so in case it doesn't work, then you look like those that are like, oh yeah, we got this new guy. No, we don't.
Yeah, check this out.
Everybody's like, oh, how's it working out with the new bass player? Oh, yeah, he fired him. He quit. He left.
The day after that picture.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right, so this is an interesting thing because I'm talking to you all cohesively as a band, but I want to ask each individual person, like, because the concept of the show is the wrestling diaries, man. It's like, what are you wrestling with personally and stuff? So first of what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask each person what you're fighting with, what demons you're trying to overcome, and then I'll ask you collectively as a band, what does the band wrestle with? And I'll start with Steve. What are the things that you deal with, man, as a young man doing music in this world? Like, what are the things you wrestle with, bro?
Loose women. No, man. Like I said earlier, I've been trying to keep together and not drink, and that's about the biggest part. I mean, that's been my year so far. You know what I mean? And I've lost 66 pounds.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, I've been dude. I walked like 350 miles. I've been slacking though because I was 296 at the end of the year, and I wanted to get down to I think it was 230 or some like that, and I was like, I don't want to go any lower, or 235. I was like, I ain't going no lower than that. Mm-hmm. Then after I hit that, I was like, I'm going to go a little lower than that. Actually, it was 250, and then I wanted to be 235, and now I'm 230. And I don't know, this whole week I've just been like, you know what I mean? This is going to be the week just hanging. It's been like every day of this year has just been keep it together, dude. You know, like just in my own head, trying to kick that ass out that stays in there hanging out talking.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I'll say, man, I never really got to know you as well through the years, but I saw you a lot through passing and stuff like that. You, one thing I was going to say is you looked a lot more slim and sleek than I remember, and you look healthier.
Yeah,
which is weird because it's been years. So you're older, but you look healthier, which is good.
Like I said, man, this has been alcohol got to be pretty hardcore for me. I mean, I ain't against it. Drink your ass off. It don't bother me at all. It's just one of them things that if I drink, it's game over. I might as well just go on ahead and phone up 350 pounds and tell it to come its fat ass on back. I mean, dude, I'll knock a 15 pack out like it ain't nothing, and then go for another one and another one. And I mean, it's just a revolving door of beers for me.
If I can ask, man, what was your stopping point? You're like, man, I'm not going to drink anymore. Like, this is just not helping me in life.
Honestly, man, practice. We get together and practice. I mean, I got 2 kids. That's the biggest thing for me is like, I mean, my blood pressure started getting pretty hardcore, but I started noticing I'm the only motherfucker practice getting drunk. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm the only one over here getting hammered.
Yeah.
And everybody else is keeping their together. I was like, I can't be the only one doing this.
Yeah.
And he'll tell me about, man, you're going to do this, we're going to do that. And then he'll drink 2 beers and be like, oh, my, I'm done.
Right.
But, I mean, I think it was the night before New Year's Eve. I just was like, I don't want to drink no more.
Yeah.
I mean, also it's probably because we almost threw one of them light up grenades in the back of my neighbor's gas filled van. It was bad, dude. We were like, we're gonna do it, and then I think we threw it at his house instead.
Yeah.
I don't remember what, but it would have been a disaster had we went through with.
Oh my gosh, dude, that would have been. You guys would have been taking some mugshots for one of your albums. This is when we got arrested.
Would have been a black metal band. Then it killed everybody in the band and the neighborhood.
Nice, dude. I gotta like commend you though, man, for you, like, because some people just need that extra push from something else, but for you to make a decision consciously yourself to be like, all right, you know what, I'm getting off this ride. Like that's a really strong statement, right?
Yeah,
I really feel like it is for you to just be like, all right, that's enough. I'm like, I gotta stop doing this. It's for something you've done for so long.
Yeah, it's been man.
No AA meetings, no
nothing, dude. Every time I ever
that's willpower, bro. That's absolute willpower.
I mean, it's
amazing.
This particular time, I want to make it for good. I mean, I just tell myself I was just going to take a break or whatever, but this time it's like, nah, man.
So, do you think that, like, for you, like, the best course would be to, like, you just never, like, even, like, hanging out, just have 1 beer, 2 beers at dinner or something?
No, I don't even, I mean, it got to the point, man, when I was drinking, I was like, what the I even drink if I didn't even want to drink? You know what I mean? I was like, I just got to do this because if I don't drink, I can't be around my and it was that way for a while. But I mean, I'm a big marijuana advocate, so I mean, I smoke my ass off.
Okay.
I mean, that's one of the biggest reasons why it's been pretty easy for me to just say screw the damn, alcohol. Because I mean, I smoke trees. I just smoke trees.
What is that? Like I saw some tagline like years ago. It's like, why drink and drive when you can smoke and fly?
Yeah. That's it, man. That's it.
Well, that's cool, man. My hat's off to you, bro. That's congratulations.
Hey,
on
man,
that.
I appreciate that. It's been nice.
Yeah. Nice. Trevor, same question to you, bro. Like, what do you wrestle with, man? What are the things, the monsters?
Practice on time.
God, it's such a long seminar.
Narrow it down to something that really gets you by the coattails, man. The monsters on your bed. You're trying to get out from under there.
Key points. Got out of a 10-year relationship last year and had to start like all the way over from nothing. Like had bought a house and stuff. I just got stagnant. Like it was just, it was not good. No, it was affecting like my life, her life, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So, trying to balance a career, trying to get a house, being the most committed I've ever been to a band, which honestly is because these two, because most bands I've been in, they're not prompt. Get like shows late and just all that kind of the logistics aspect has always been bad. But, yeah, just, trying to, I guess, start a new life and have a house. Like my end goal is a farm and stuff. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Just trying to balance everything out and find somebody who'll let me have a kid with them. I haven't found nobody that's that desperate
ladies.
yet.
Any ladies listening to this?
Just anybody.
I would
Check him out. You on Tinder? Or Grindr? He's on Grindr.
Looking to get his ass licked.
Yes. Oh my God, man. I think it's good because I feel like you got a good support system, like you were just saying, man, right? You know, like you are the people that you hang around, right?
This is very true.
Your success depends a lot around the friends that you have, the closest people that are in your life, about how far you can go. Yeah, influence is a big deal.
It really is, and like that's why I had to quit like playing music at the end of 2019 because I realized that most of the people I had around me was dead weight. As mean as that sounds, but
hey, sometimes you got to know when to cut ties. Nothing personal. It's nothing. Like I said with people, they can't keep up with me, and you get left behind. But it's not personal. Yep. Still love you, still respect you, but it's not personal. It's just
how it has to be. Yeah. And that brought me a whole bunch of other clarity and let me move on. So it's cool now.
That's good, man.
For the most part. Paying them car notes.
Clint Spain, you've been in the hot seat before. What are you wrestling with right now, brother?
Oh.
A lot of things, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm kind of like a chameleon when it comes to stuff. And with this COVID, when COVID hit, I saw the writing on the walls, like I said in the other one, like way in advance. And I decided that now will be the time to just take extra chances on stuff that you've been wanting to do. Right. So I've been trying to push a screen printing company, and I'm finally getting to a point now where I can publicly be like, come get shirts. Wow. And but then I decided I want to do something different that I haven't done before, and so I've been trying to do this Patreon channel where I'm going to start doing virtual martial arts classes online.
Oh, exquisite.
And so you just sign up, and depending on what level you want to be, you can you can pay for your class and stuff. Mm-hmm. And for me, it's something I can do which will be passive income instead of active income, because I can literally record my entire martial arts program in one weekend and then casually put them up online instead of being in a classroom 3 days a week trying to teach people the same stuff. And they can go back and review it as much as they would like. So it's a win-win. And then if you pay a little extra, you can Skype with me once a month, and I'll tell you you're a good little boy or girl. And then
even if it's a girl, tell me you're a little boy.
And that'll be that. Other than that, man, just same old, trying to keep this band moving and making sure that we're firing all cylinders, trying to get us some shows and stuff like that, and getting ready for this move. Because the move is weird because we're moving for 2 months and then moving back to Birmingham, then moving back to New Orleans.
Whoa.
Because it's the way it's set up with her school. Like, we're having to be in certain places at certain times for certain classes and stuff. Because like some of her classes in New Orleans start, and then some of her classes in Birmingham she has to finish, and they conflict. So we go to Birmingham, we go to New Orleans for the summer, then we come back, and we're here for 6 months, and then we go back to New Orleans, and then we're there for indefinite, whenever.
Right.
But yeah, that's really it, man. Just same old, just trying to keep that grind going. I get antsy if I'm not doing something. I feel like I feel like I'm doing, like, I don't know, I get really, my anxiety kicks through the roof if I'm not doing something.
You gotta keep your hands full.
Yeah. I have idle hands like a son of a bitch.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, man. Also, for people that are wondering, he's talking about like martial arts stuff. You also tell people about like your pedigree in martial arts and stuff.
Yeah.
For people watching this the first time, they don't know. They're like, what? Martial arts? You thought he was a metal guy.
Yeah, I teach Ace Prey Manus, Kung Fu, Tai Chi, and Xingyi and Bagua, and I've been studying martial arts for 20 years under Grandmaster Shun, and that's it.
Has Clint showed you guys some stuff?
Hell no.
No? Yeah, keep that separate.
Yeah.
These guys want to understand. It's Asian stuff.
Yeah, the funniest thing with martial arts and the band is one time we're playing in Tennessee, this place called Growlers, and it's probably my favorite venue, or one of them at least. Like, it's on the top of the list of the best venues. And we're out there getting ready, and like I have this ritual that I like to do, and I usually hide behind somewhere where no one can see me do it because I feel kind of self-conscious about it anyways. Okay. But I'm over here like doing like shin kicks and all this stuff, getting ready to on stage, and I do it the same way as I do if I'm getting ready to fight a tournament. Sure. And I'm getting my head all in the mode, and this lady comes over and goes, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm okay." She goes, "You look like you're about to kick somebody's ass." And I was like, "Nah, I'm just getting ready to go play a show."
Oh my gosh. I feel like that's a great conversation piece, though, right? Yeah. Segue in the fact that you do martial arts, right? Because how cool is that?
Yes,
front man, this metal band, like, you do martial arts.
He's the David Lee Roth of metal.
The David Lee Roth of metal.
Mine's the split kicks and spandex.
Yeah, that's so freaking hilarious.
Yeah, I'm the tight pants guy.
Nice. So you guys, as a band, Kamikaze Zombie, what is Kamikaze Zombie? What is this biggest foothold that it trips up on? What is this biggest wrestling opponent? It's foe. What do you guys...
What is Steve?
A year, man. The motherfucker, as long as it is, it's never long enough. And never happens like it's supposed to. One day it will.
Yeah.
One day we'll be able to tour the whole U.S. and hopefully even
keep
further,
people with us.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably the biggest one, ain't it?
And a thing that drives me insane on the promotion end of things that just irks me to no end is like, I'll get on Facebook or Twitter, whichever social media platform I'm on at the time trying to promote the band, and it just drives me bananas that I'll see my friends and they'll post all day long other established bands' music.
Yeah.
but they can't share Offset for 5 seconds. And like, I'm like on Facebook, I'm not like a chick, like, I know this sounds kind of misogynistic how I'm about to come off here, but like with girls, they, like if you're a hot chick and you have like stuff, the TNA girls, and they get they get all the likes, right? Like they'll get 3,000-4,000 likes just on one picture, right?
Sure.
But like me, I'm just a 40-year-old bald dude, but I still have a pretty good following on Facebook, and I'm not like Seth Rogen or anything, like I'm like just a regular dude. And so if I post or I post something about some kind of social opinion or whatever, I'll get like 200-300 likes easy. If I post something about the band, it's like 1 or 2 people, it's crickets, and that's frustrating as hell. And it's like, why can't you take 5 seconds to share my band's music just as easily as you just shared like the Deftones or Korn for the 50th time, or Pantera, whoever it is that's already successful, that's already been making it. Here we are grinding our asses to death. It's infuriating and is a little bit insulting.
Yeah.
And so you start thinking, okay, well, do I suck? And then you realize, okay, well, we don't suck because people who owe us zero, complete zero, buy our merch, tell us how great we are, stay at our shows, come to our shows, support us, follow us, whatever. But then we have close friends and family who can't even share our stuff for 5 seconds. And that just drives me bananas. So getting that off the chest.
I feel like though sometimes it's just that's something that comes with the territory, right? That's like that wall that you have to like. It's challenging. It's like are you gonna like? It's like in the wild when like 2 like alpha males are up and like bowing up. Like which one's gonna walk away? Are you gonna fight? Or are you gonna walk away scared? And this is kind of the concept of that, right? Like life is bowing up to you, so you're gonna be like, all right, whatever, and walk away, or you're gonna be like, F this. I'm just gonna fight to the tooth and nail on this one.
Right.
So I guess that's something. I mean, I know it's easier said than done, but like, yeah, I get it. Like, I don't have that issue specifically because I'm not in your position, but I understand how that would be very. I mean, it's kind of the same. It's similar with like the wrestling Diaries thing, right? Right. Like people, they pick and choose what they want to be excited about, and then like they want to say they support you and all that, but then like they're not going to share the that you're doing and all that. But here's the kicker: the minute that you're on a billboard or a commercial or a main tour, or you've got like all these T-shirts or something, when you start pushing something, then instantly now all those people that weren't there, now they are sharing your hey, my friend Clint, he's like, his band they just got this great record deal and they got an awesome music video they shot, blah, 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 and they're touring all over Europe. Now they're on that bandwagon. It's not like, and it's so weird because like you're not like, you're just as significant as you were before. You just have like the outlet is more open, so now people find you more significant. Right. It's like the concept of like I was listening to once a guy talking about how like he's like this multimillionaire, he's like this motivational speaker and stuff, and he said, there's a point when I was poor, and like we literally like the neighborhood would get like food together and give it to my family for Thanksgiving, right? And that was just the once. Other than that, like we would be out, like nobody would try to buy us food. They would even look at us because we looked like, kind of homely or whatever. He's like, but the minute he's like, now I go out, he's like, I've written multiple New York Times best-selling books and I've been on commercials and movies and blah, blah, blah. I go to a restaurant and I have like, the general manager wants to let me in for free and pay for my meal, or I have like some guy in a suit and a tie and he's like waving to me, and then the waiter's like, he's like, the gentleman over there is paying for your meal, and he's like, what the f***? Right. He's like, when I was poor and I would have loved for you to pay for my meal, you didn't want to do it, and now I'm a millionaire. He's like, I don't need you to buy my food. I don't need to get into this place for free. Right. I can afford it like 10, 20 times over. Why are people built that way? But unfortunately, they are. And it's just the sad truth of it.
I was talking to a friend of mine who's in a death metal band who's the band's amazing, but he was telling me he thinks it's because people are too close to the fire. They're staying too close, kind of like staying too close to the elephant phenomenon,
That's a good analogy.
And so they don't really see the whole picture of the elephant until, it's out there a little bit further or whatever. Yeah. And I do understand also algorithms, like Facebook and Spotify, they bury you in algorithms,
That's true.
Yeah. And if you don't have a big name, in like with Spotify, you can easily get buried. Yeah. And same thing with Facebook. They very big on, and then also how you word it and how you hashtag it and how you brand it. If you're not using the right hashtags, like this is the lamest crap I'm about to say ever, but I pay $145 a year for the right hashtags on a thing called Flick.
Yeah.
And Flickster tells you what hashtags are the best hashtags to use in order to promote your band.
Jesus.
And I just spend money on hashtags. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, why in the crap do I need to spend money on freaking hashtags?
You know
I even hate the name hashtag.
Hashtag busted and disgusted.
But $145 just so I know what hashtags to use so that I can get my band at least that much over the other 5,000 bands.
Yeah. I feel like, though, one day when you break through, you'll look back and appreciate all this so much more.
Oh, definitely.
Because you had to struggle this. You had to get pissed off. You had to get, like, whatever, complex about it, whatever it is. It's just like with Steve, right? When he started playing guitar, he couldn't just pick it up and play by ear. He had to play tablature, get books, read it, up, sound bad. And now he just gets up there and it's effortless. He just knows. He's done it so much. It's like tying a shoe.
Effortless. Real easy.
But it's that concept, and I'm sure it makes him appreciate playing guitar more than somebody else who just picked it up and they play it by ear. And so one day, when you guys reach that pinnacle, that like really awesome sweet spot, you'll look back and be like, man, that sucked. But also, yeah, it makes this experience much sweeter. One thing I want to say to you, when you guys do get to the top, just don't forget where you came from, man.
Oh, definitely
don't
not.
ever turn into those prima donnas where like
no.
someone's like, hey, Kamikaze Zombie, hey, what's going on, guys? We're playing with you. And you're just like, hey, what's up? And you slap their hand and you're like, oh yeah. Don't ever be those. Like, be humble, be cool. Even if you got millions of dollars, right?
Yeah,
even if you got millions of dollars.
Hell, my goal right now is just paying our apartment with music. We're not even trying to Metallica. I mean, if that happened, that'd be cool. But like realistically, like just getting signed to a decent label and paying our rent we have now with music is the goal. And just to clarify other things, like I don't expect people who don't know us, to bend over backwards, but I just feel like sometimes it's a little frustrating when like my personal family and closest friends can't support me.
Well, I hope they listen to this episode, man.
That's the clarification. I don't expect. I don't expect like just. I don't expect people to bend over backwards for us at all, and anything like that. But I do. My closest inner circle should be a little bit more attentive.
Nice. Dude. Hey guys, get on it, man. You love
calling you out.
Stop doing that.
He's calling you out. Do it. Help them out if you really care. Don't ride on their when they're like they're doing music videos and they're traveling around Asia and stuff like that. Don't wait to do that because then I feel like he's not going to want to talk to you.
And then
wait, who are you? My cousin who?
And then the people who do
I don't have a cousin.
Man, the people that do support us, we appreciate beyond belief because they really have helped us out. And there's some people in groups that share our stuff in other groups that have really helped us spread the word. And I just want to say thank you to all those people that really and that buy. Like during COVID, we had people just buying our merch just to buy it, just to help us out. And those people are the ones that I really appreciate, like big time.
Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome. Let me get a final thought from everybody. Steve, final thought. Anything. I don't care what it is. Final thought.
Sometimes big are the and sometimes they're not.
All right, moving on. Trevor, final thought.
Big pussy.
My favorite kind of music is old school Nintendo video games.
Excellent. Final thought, Clint.
Final thought is we have a new music video dropping sometime in the next 2 or 3 weeks, potentially, if we can get Steve's solo done. And we have a new single going to hit called Pig. It'll be dropping sometime in the mid summer, and it's a nice ditty. It'll come with a special bonus track, but we can't really talk about it right now. And we have some shows coming up. May 22nd, we're playing Carnival Chaos in it's not Atlanta, but it's Jonesboro. Yeah, we got tickets, $10. It's totally worth it. Tons of fantastic bands are playing. We're also playing with Skeptic May 29th at the Nick, and we have some more shows that'll be coming throughout the summer. And we did have a tour we're trying to get with a band called Septarian, but they're having trouble trying to get their schedule together. But once we work that out, we'll be on the road with or without them, but hopefully with them because they're a great band, and you guys should check them out.
Excellent. Let's do a who liked Ninja Turtles? You. Yeah. Let's do a cowabunga right here. Let's make sure we get this. Ready? Let's do cowabunga. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this episode, man. I had a lot of fun having all these guys on here. The first time for me to do a band. So also, I appreciate you for wanting to bring the boys on here and talk with me and shoot the breeze, man. It was real fun. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate you, Steve. Appreciate you, Trevor. Appreciate you, Clint. I wish you guys all the best of luck, man. I feel like you guys keep going. The sky's the limit. Whatever y'all want to do, man. Whatever you want to do with your life. Do whatever you want to do. Whatever makes you happy. At the end of the day, for anybody, that's what you should do. Do what makes you happy. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. He had a hell of a plug-in. I'm going to have like some links to like how you can find their band or get some merch or like go see them play. I'm going to put that on the description of this video and the audio or video. Check us out for video, YouTube, like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more content. Also check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Radio Public to listen to the things that people wrestle with. This is a band and you've heard some things, some political things about the music scene and some deeper things about everybody and what they wrestle with and how they're overcoming their adversities and just being happy, man. Seriously. Like, I'm not a professional in this stuff. I'm just a regular dude, just trying to connect people with other people and see and let people see that you're not alone with the bullshit that you deal with. And that's a very important thing, you know. Struggle is manhood or womanhood. It's a beautiful thing. There's a lot of poetry in struggling because it makes you appreciate the things. It's like John Mayer said, right? You know, you gotta eat a little to have dessert. So think about that. What do you wrestle with and how can you beat it? One love.